Hi everyone, my name is James, and I'm so glad that you could all be here this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm really happy that we're able to gather in person in celebration of water and of the creek running behind me here that many people now know as Bowker Creek for the launch of the second season of Creekside Concerts. That's where you cheer, yeah. So this is a bicycle-powered event, as I mentioned. So Taya right now is providing all the human power that's necessary to power my voice so that you can hear it. And Taya's probably going to either get tired or her butt's going to get sore from sitting on that bench or on that seat. So we're going to hopefully spell her off after not too long. If you'd like to come take a turn at some point, we invite you to come up to the front. Okay. All that we ask is that you sanitize your hands before and after you get on the bike. And how's the voltage there? Are we good down there? We're a little crackly. Sometimes there's some kinks in the bike power. So I've been collaborating on this series since early last year with the Friends of Bowker Creek Society. And I'm really thankful to Soren and Gerald from the board who are here tonight and other members of the board for their support. And I would encourage you to visit the table back there to learn more about the work that Friends of Bowker Creek is doing to help restore Bowker Creek and its watershed. So Soren's back there. You can go chat with him. I also feel really thankful to be able to live, work, and bring people together like this on Lekwungen territory, on beautiful Lekwungen territory. And I'm really honored that Teatliad, did I get close? Teatliad. Brianna Bear has joined us this evening to welcome us to Lekwungen territory. And so I first met Brianna last summer at the Bicycle Music Festival, where her sister Chantel shared some of her amazing poetry. If you haven't heard Chantel DC do her spoken word, you should. And you may get the opportunity at the Bicycle Music Festival this year if it happens. And then since then, I've just been had the pleasure of hearing Brianna speak at various events, spend some time on the legislature front steps with her back in the winter months. And I always just love being able to just listen to the words and the wisdom that she has to share and just soak it in. So I'm really thrilled that she's here this evening, and I'd like you to all give a hand for Brianna.
Aisquacha, good day. ACM Siayat Nishtalacha, ACM Siayat Nushwalaka, Haichka CM Niquilia here, Haichka CM Lekwungen Tanga, Haichka CM Musainich Tisuk and Malahat, Asa the Echlia, Hinitsa Songis, Hinitsa Kukwakyo Namgis, and me Mim Swiss. So, good day, my friends. I raise my hand and say thank you to each and every one of you honorable guests here today in the physical world and also the virtual world too. I raise my hand and say thank you to the traditional holders of this land, the Lekwungen speaking people of the Songhees and Esquimalt Nation here in Victoria. And then I also raise my hands to my other relatives in Saanich, Tisuk, and Malahat territory. Though Saanich is the only territory that we did share land throughout Victoria. Here, I always just like to bring awareness to my other relatives and family in the Tisuk and Malahat Nation because I've learned a lot from them, and each, me and my sisters, we each have names from those territories and we have teachings. So it's always a great way to let people know of the wider community here. But saying that, my traditional name is Saechriat. We use a lot of guttural language, so it was a big thing for me to learn my name as well, because it was a lot of, or else we'd have to use a lot of our back guttural voice without having to spit at one another. So our language is very expressive at times, and I'm really grateful that I know little bits and pieces of it. So with my name being The'echlia, it loosely translates to older sister from our Saanich family members. And then my sister Chantal that James mentioned, she has a younger sister name, which is The'echlia. And then our youngest sister, Quiextana, has a name from the Tsuk Nation, which we're still learning more about right now. With that, my roots are to this land through my father's side of the family, which is Lahihila, Skip Dick, Linda Dick, and my dad, Summit David Dick. And then I'm blessed to have roots up island in the Numgees, Kukwakilak area through my mom, which her family is Norman Seaweed, the late Beverly Williams, and my mom, who's here today, Hatwina Pulagua, Leslie Seaweed. And then I've been blessed to also have two other parents come into my life from the Neutronic territories, which is Muchimachlit as well as Heshquit. So I always make a funny little joke that's okay to laugh to, don't worry, that it was really hard for me to find someone that I wasn't related to on the island. So I have my husband, who I found. He is Cree from Saskatchewan. And we always make a little joke is that there's a Cree behind every tree, and I found mine. So I married him last year. But it's always my honor to be able to come out in the community and just let everyone know about the territory we're on, the place to smoke herring, which is what Lekwungen translates to. And just to also invite everyone to ground themselves while they're here in a good way, with a good heart and a good mind. Even if you're not too sure what that means right now, it's a chance for you to get to know yourself, to get to know the land, and it's our way as people to recognize and honor you for being here as well. And by that, it's how we carry our traditions, our protocols on, being in a new urban area. And it's also a chance for us to invite you to think about where you are, considering that a lot of us come from homes that maybe we're not connected to anymore, cultures that we feel disconnected from, and lands that unfortunately we don't know what those lands are sometimes. We don't know how to place ourselves in this space. And it's always a learning opportunity. And so it's our chance to just remind you to ground yourself in a good way, with a good heart and a good mind. Be gentle with yourself as well as the earth that you walk on. And just a chance for you to get to know what's around too. Because we always honor the nature that we have around us. I was really happy to hear that there's just a little creek back here, which is awesome because there's always those little hidden treasures throughout the territory that sometimes we don't know about until someone just brings it up to us. So I just raise my hands and say, Haichka Siam. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. Despite having the rain hold us back yesterday, it just allowed us to be here today instead. So everything works out the way it's meant to. So Haichka Siam. Thank you to each and every one of you, and welcome to the traditional territory, the Smoke Herring, the Lekwungen territory of the Songhees and the Esquimalt Nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brianna. Haichka, thank you for being here. So it sounds like we need somebody to come and take a shift on the bicycle. Who's up for that? We got a volunteer over here. Awesome. I'm going to take this opportunity to be COVID safe and switch out the microphone with a fresh, clean, sterilized one. All right. COVID safe. So thanks again for those words, Brianna. It's a real treat to have you here with us, and I hope that we can all take those words to heart. Remember when we enter into territory that's not ours, and when we live on territory that's not ours, that we should be thankful and be moving in a mindful way, in a good way. So thank you. I'm going to also take this opportunity to change the batteries in the mixer because that might be why we're a little. be technical director and MC. It turns out it's maybe not the best idea, but it's working out. Oh, also, hi everyone on the internet. I hope you're enjoying this. Okay, yeah. So I would encourage everyone. Does anyone know Open Space Gallery? Have you heard of that in Toronto, in Victoria here? So they have on their website, they have a really cool series called Online on Land. And Brianna is one of the local Indigenous folks who has a video as part of that series. And in that video, she's at the Sichana village site at a place where many people know of today as Willows Beach. So check out that if you want to get to know more about the history of this land. Go to openspace.ca, I believe it is, and check out Online on Land. So up next, I'm really excited to introduce my friend Sarat Brown. Sarat and I met almost 2 years ago while singing in the Resistance Rising choir together. And I was intrigued to recently learn that she has a real love of water and has been working on a really cool project called River Riders. I'm sure she can tell you more about that in a few moments. But she and her husband have been working on this riding along rivers from source to sea. She's going to be sharing a few poems with us and also leading us in an interactive poetry activity. So I'm really excited for that. Will you please welcome Sarat?
Thanks, James, for the invitation. Hi, everyone. I'm so honored to be here to share the love of water with you. Thank you. Thanks for organizing. So before I read some poetry, I just want to tell you how we became river riders. It was 2011, and my husband, Peter, said, I want to do a 1,000 kilometers bike trip. I said, great, good for you. I'll support you. I'll do anything. And I said, you know what you can do? Write it down on a Post-it, put it on a mirror, and you'll read it every day, and that will happen. So Peter said, well, okay, I'll do that. So he did, but he also put me down on that paper on a tandem so that we could do that together. So in a year of time, I found myself on top of this tandem bicycle, which we were riding before, but we were at the source of Danube River, and we did 1,200 kilometers to start with. And then I said, I love this, let's do it again. So, and then there came other rivers, Loire and, Seine. And last year we did Saskatchewan River, from Bob Glacier to Saskatchewan Delta, and met with communities there. So, so that's why I became a river rider and a poet and a filmmaker. Last year I made a film about this, and I'm now studying water at the University of Victoria. So I'm going to read my first poem is I Am River, which is in my film as well. I'm river, clean and pure at my source, born to give joy and happiness to the land, to people's lives. I'm river. In life, I meander from east to west, west to east, from north to south, south to north, reaching out as far as I can, so that I nourish the land, give life. I feel the magic in songs of birds, in the buzz of bees. I feel life. What is happening to rivers? Where are the trees? Why am I pumped out? What am I carrying to the ocean? What is happening to me? And what is happening to you? I am river, and I flow fast and slow, Sometimes I take rocks with me, sometimes sand. Branches, seeds, and soil float, travel with me to reach unknown lands, to grow in abundance in my presence. I am river, clean and pure at my source. I travel, I flow. My arteries move through your life, your cities. I'm a member of all community who gives, sustains life. I am river. I flow in the now, knowing my source is pure and clean. So I go to the big basin, to the ocean, where all community is waiting for me. I am river. I travel. I flow. I bring life and I grow. My arteries are yours. We are all one. I am river. I am life. So, thank you. So this poem was born actually listening to the river as after our 5,000 kilometer bike trips. What I noticed is wherever we went to, river was the founding member of the community. Life was around it. So I just felt like rivers need more respect, more care, and more attention. So that was quite touching to me. Now the river reaches to the ocean. So I'm going to read you an ocean poem that inspired me just listening to the ocean. And I was thinking, how could I really share this beauty? Then I thought probably children love to go and play with the ocean. So this is what came out. Ocean and children are talking. Ocean talking to the children, I imagined. Come and play with me. Come and play with me, says ocean. I have shallow, lukewarm waters with soft sand. Dip your toes in, walk with joy. Find out what rests in me. Come and play with me. I have big waves to surf on. Walk among the oyster shells and pebbles on the beach. Find traces of community in water. Small crabs hiding in the sand. Starfish in clusters, waiting for the tide. Seagulls walking with curiosity, hoping to find food before the tide comes back. Put your hands in water. See how sun reflects. Dip in slowly. Feel how I gently cover. I'm transparent. You can see your toes and yet feel me all around. Come and play with me. I have gentle waves to offer, seashells that are miraculous to watch, rocks of all different colors. Walking on a beach is to witness the art of nature in all different forms and shapes. Come and play with me. When I rush back with the tide, see how water rises and gently covers. With each tide, I bring nutrients to the community. Come and play with me. I am the ocean, deep and wide and shallow. I'm home to many. Come and play with me, with the members of the community. Thank you. So this one, actually, there's a person who inspired me to write this poem. Bisha, who is in red, she told me that I should write poetry, and she told me just something like a reflection that I was talking about. So this is what came out, and I'm grateful to Bisha for letting me know that I was actually doing poetry. at the time, a couple years ago by now. So, water is my teacher. Water is my teacher, whom I admire and learn from. Sometimes running with joy, I follow on a riverbank, sometimes staying stagnant, not moving, becoming a medium for old. I see myself in that stagnancy, that I do not move, that I wait and wait for something to happen. Days of tiredness, not wanting to flow. Then I know that I must flow to claim my own life. Water is my teacher, gentle and calm, whom I listen and learn from, wild and strong. When water knocks down barriers, blankets land with floods, that's me also. When I'm furious, I go beyond boundaries when pressure builds. Water is my teacher. Its transparency teaches me expression and honesty. I dive in, see to and fro, up and down. I feel trust and love with this offering of clarity. When water gets muddy, I know it's time to wait. It's water's time to carry, and my time to watch, give space, and let it cleanse itself, for it has duty. Water is my teacher. I watch the joy in its falling form, in a waterfall. How excited water is to run and meet the land. Like a lover, like me, I run towards people I love and trust. So, just checking the time. Are we okay? I can do the. It will be how many minutes? Like, yeah, okay. So I've got one short. Yeah, yeah, okay. So the last one is on snow, and this is we were at Manning Park, walking on the snow, and this is what came out. Just realizing how beautiful water is in its many forms, different forms. On snow. I'm walking on deep snow. Sunshine is so bright. The elements are in their full power. I am walking on water in its solid state. Millions of crystals, blinking like millions of diamonds. That's how precious water is. I'm walking on snow, almost 3 meters deep, and I do not fall. I see the tip of a tree, bent, covered in the snow. I hold this sunken part, pull it towards me through the ice. I feel the strength, resistance. The young tree stands up with all its presence. I'm walking on snow, water's solid state, millions of crystals shining like diamonds. That's how precious water is. Thank you. So I would like to invite you just to do a little practice, a community practice. If you guys would like to join, what I'm gonna do is I'll tell you 2 sentences, and you have the little pieces of papers and pens, yeah? So does everybody know Bowker Creek here? Like, do you guys sit or walk by? Who doesn't? Yeah, everybody? Couple people, okay. So we'll imagine. I'll say when I walk by the creek, or I'm gonna say when I walk by Bowker Creek, but you'll imagine some other creek if you are not familiar with the creek. So 2 prompts I'm gonna say. Pick one for yourself and just write 1 sentence. I'll collect them in a paper bag, and I'll just weave it, and we'll have a collective poem. I'm just loving this. I do this facilitation every month we have this gathering, and we do it over Zoom. So, okay, here it is. Ready? When I walk by Bowker Creek, you just write a sentence, whatever comes to your mind. Or I'll say, when I listen to Bowker Creek. Or when I sit by Bowker Creek. So when I walk by, when I sit by, when I listen to, whichever you choose.
Thank you so much, Sarab.
And thanks so much for pedaling.
Let's hear it one more time for Sarab. Thank you for sharing those beautiful words with us. Yeah. And I really look forward to hearing the collective poem that we come up with together, perhaps even by the end of the evening.
Yes.
So those of you who were here at the very beginning heard me say that the series is produced in collaboration with the Friends of Bowker Creek. And I encourage everyone here to consider joining, becoming a member of the Friends of Bowker Creek. It is a mere $10 for a full year of membership for an entire household. So I feel like there are some households here, and this is a beautiful event that you have not had to pay any money to come to. So if there's a $10 bill burning a hole in your pocket, or I think a credit card that you can swipe on something, go talk to Soren and become a member of Friends of Bowker Creek and help with efforts to restore this watershed. You can talk to Gerald or Soren anytime over the next 45 minutes or so and find out more. So at this time, I'm actually going to ask Soren to come up and share a few words. Soren is the chair of the Friends of Bowker Creek board, and I've been really thankful to be working with him over the last little bit over a year now. I approached him with this idea for a Creekside Concert series, maybe a year and a half ago in the winter. And he was really keen to explore it and has been super supportive of the project the whole way along. You know, it's not easy to go into the second season of a new project in the midst of a global pandemic. And Gerald and Soren and the rest of the board were game to move forward with this and try it out. So I'm grateful for that, and I'd welcome Soren to come forward now and share some words about Friends of Bowker Creek and about the watershed that we're in. Thanks, James. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all here. So we're by Boker Creek. I live nearby in the watershed of about 10 minutes away. And there was a time when I didn't even know what the word watershed meant. I was busy raising my family, and my world was very small. And thinking about where rain goes in the city was a revelation to me, that there's rain falling all the time and it has to go somewhere. And I got involved in 2006 with an outreach project in this neighborhood and met people who are interested in learning. And there's so much to learn in the watershed.
to learn about Boker Creek, as Brianna Bear was saying, to think about a connection to the land and the water. And other people like that too. They like to learn. And there's people who are working on things, making changes to some of the things that have been done to the land and to the creek. There was people treated the creek like just a place to drop things, to discard things, to treat it as a extension of a ditch, and to draw the water away, to rush the water away as fast as you can to avoid flooding and to protect farmlands from flooding. It changed the creek. We see now a creek that flows in a deep channel that cuts every time there's a stormwater event. The creek rises really rapidly. In about 15 minutes, it rises a lot, can go over the banks, and then it drains and it becomes quiet again, becomes a trickle. But there's a history here. There's some maps that show what it was like 200 years ago or 150 years ago. But there's a longer history I'm learning that it's post-Ice Age. There's some amazing geological features that I'm just trying to wrap my mind around. Why there's water in the creek year-round. And so I hope to learn more about that. And there's the people that I've met. We have a board for the Friends of Boker Creek Society. There's just 5 of us. But I think our goal is to have fun together while we share this interest. So I think we're a very nimble board. Our meetings, we cover a lot of ground, and we always look at the end of the meeting, say that was a good meeting. You know, nobody likes meetings, but we always have these great meetings, and we connect with other people, like James, who came out last year and already knew about the creek, had done his own research and learned things, and had this package ready to go with the Creekside Concert, his concept. So it was fantastic. And there's other people like that we meet. So outside of the board, we have leaders and champions and quiet leaders, people who just do things, get things done quietly. So it's been a great experience. And so the Friends of Boker Creek, we have as our what do you call it, mandate, to follow the guidelines in the Boker Creek Blueprint, which is a document which you've all paid for with your tax dollars. And so we thought, we don't want that document to just become something gathering dust on the shelf, because there's lots of really interesting information in it about how to, 100-year action plan to restore the Boker Creek watershed. So I won't, there's a copy of the document over there. Thanks, Kayla. So I won't, we can see the document over there, and it's online, but I'll just read to you the 4 goals. So this is what we're about in what we're trying to do. So goal number 1, individuals, community, and special interest groups, institutions, governments, and businesses take responsibility for actions that affect the watershed. 2, manage flows effectively. That's kind of an engineering thing. Improve and expand public areas, natural areas, and biodiversity in the watershed. And achieve and maintain acceptable water quality in the watershed. So everybody can participate in this. You can try to keep pollutants out of the creek. You can do things. If you have land that you're feel responsible for, you can try to hold back rainwater, have rain gardens, plant things, plant trees, replace invasive plants with drought-tolerant native plants, have pollinator corridors where birds, insects can find forage throughout the year, things like that. So I invite you to, at the end of the concert, or at any time you want to stretch your legs, come and see us over at the table, and we very much love to have you join us and share your interest and support us, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Soren. Thanks for those words. We're now going to have Gerald Harris, who's another member of the board of Friends of Bowker Creek, come in, read a poem that he's created especially for this evening. When I read it at breakfast time to Kayla in the kitchen the other day, it gave me goosebumps. So I don't want to set your expectations too high, but it's a really beautiful poem that comes from Gerald's heart, and I'm excited that he's here to share it with us. I also thank you for bearing with us through some of our technical difficulties. It turns out that all that needed to happen was for me to put some cornbread underneath the speaker wires, and the crackling went away. So there you go. Keep that in your back pocket.
Hello, this is a poem about this place right here. The first potato patch in Bowker Valley's first farm, right here across the creek from Jubilee Hospital's helipad, required its first farmer to chop away willow thickets, straighten out the creek as ditch to drain swampy land, fence a field beside the ditch, break and furrow the soil, which unsettles me because I continue breaking valley soil in my own potato patch every year, and because that farmer's axe, that shovel and plow a century and a half ago began the valley's degradation that my shovel perpetuates. Land. The valley never pictured itself until then as land. Bowker Valley had seen itself more as relationship among place and creatures interdepending. Humans, cutthroat trout, yellow warblers, willow thicket, across millennia, linked and bound by fibers of obligation. Land, property, the concepts muted the valley, froze it like an object people could own and treat like dirt, rendered it comatose, faded it invisible, until this century when Bowker Valley awakens and speaks up inside people, speaks out now. Listen to your valley, your local capacity in this concerted rush into super abundant, messy, super diverse unity, which is life, which is intelligence, to this remembered wetland, willow swamp, a buzz, a drone with so many insects, a splash with cutthroat that leap for insects in the air, a twitter with yellow birds that pick insects in June for nestlings, in October to fuel flight to the Andes. Restore our relationship. Take up your obligations. Come home.
Thank you so much, Gerald. Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'd like to give a little plug for our Chum Salmon project, and it kind of relates to the Creekside concerts because At Creekside Concerts last year, we invited trout and salmon home to Bowker Creek. We danced our invitation to them. That was at the concert at Clawthorpe Park. We wrote down our hopes and intention on leaves that we shaped into little fish and floated downstream. That was the concert at Browning Park. It was important ritual work. It opened up streams of possibility within our own hearts. It connected us with ecosystem intelligence of this valley. It expressed our desire to be of service here. This year, we begin the work of bringing salmon back to Bowker Valley. The Bowker Creek Chum Salmon Recovery Project is organizing itself to restore the first salmon population up the first stretch of creek from the sea. This is a citizen science project, and a group of Bowker Creek stream keepers will see the project through. So last year, we invited the salmon and trout. This year, they invite us to become part of the work. You can find out more about the Chum Salmon Recovery Project at the Friends of Bowker Creek table or online at our website, bowkercreek.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. And thanks again for that poem. It's a good reminder, again, more of what Brianna spoke about thinking about how we live on this land and how we're complicit in a lot of the things that have happened to it. And it's our responsibility to step forward in a different way and step more lightly on the land. All right, so for a concert, this has had a lot of talking and not a lot of singing so far. So thank you for bearing with us. I will sing you a tune maybe later. All right, where are we? Here we go. It's now my privilege to introduce a very good friend of mine who will be playing some of her amazing folk tunes for you this evening. Dana Sipos and I met close to a decade ago now in Toronto, and we first got to know each other really well during a 550-kilometer bike tour that we did, a music tour by bike from Toronto to Ottawa back in the summer of 2013. With two other musicians, we rode for 2 weeks with all of the gear, the speakers and the instruments and everything on 2 cargo bikes and 2 other bikes. And we played 10 shows, 10 bicycle-powered shows in towns along the way. And so that's how we really got to know each other well. Since then, Dan has performed at the Bicycle Music Festival in Toronto, as well as its offshoots, Sunset Series there, as well as some other bicycle-powered events. And she's recently moved to Lekwungen territory, and I'm really excited that she's now part of our community here and that she's able to share some of her music with us tonight. So please welcome Dana. We ran out of red microphone covers.
So okay for a little while?
Hey. Hey, good evening, everybody. Wow, this is so lovely and really surreal. So nice to all be gathered here together in real time, real life. I think the kids are saying IRL. I'm not sure if that's still a thing. Yeah, thanks again, everyone, for being here. Thank you to Hechia for your beautiful welcome, Haichka. And thank you to Sarap for the beautiful poetry and I gotta love
gotta love interactive poetry. And many, many more things, but I think I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna start playing a song just because I think that's what I'm here to do. So I'm really rusty too, so I hope you'll, I mean, I know everyone here will be kind. I think by virtue of being here, you're kind people. All right, I'll get a, let's see here. And thank you to Bowker Creek, Friends of Bowker Creek, for having us, of course. I'm just stalling while I think about which song I should start with, which I had decided, but now I'm trying to reimagine it based on the energy of the group. So I want to honor that. Okay, I could start with this song. I don't actually play it very often, but it is a song that I wrote specifically about water. And James was like, reminded me to have my water songs polished and ready to go. So this one's for you, James. It's called Sea of Our Origins. Do you think in shades of blue can you reach out and touch it from where it all began? The safest home you've ever known. And do you think in water lines when the moon tugs at the tide, when the luminescence arrives, how deep and how low does your holy well go? 'Cause water is music, the silver world of dreams, our meat, life, blood and bones, our heartbeat. Do you think in memories the sea of our origins, recall our ancient swim, the circulation of our sea blood? 'Cause water is music, the silver world of dreams, our meat, life, blood and bones, our heartbeat. Yeah, I don't usually start with such an upbeat song in my sets, so we're trying everything new here. It's great. But yeah, I'm a huge, giant fan of bicycle-powered music. And yeah, we had kind of the beginnings of plans for a bicycle music-powered tour this summer. out here on the islands. Maybe, yeah, 2021. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later, James. And I'm a fan of all sorts of, human-powered modes of transportation and tour. I'll sing this song here that talks about a tour I did by canoe down the Grand River in southern Ontario that ended at Six Nations. And yeah, this song has quite a few water themes too, because it touches on some time I spent living in Boker in Yellowknife on a houseboat, and it's kind of a longer story, but also touches upon a tour I did by a tall ship with like a sort of weirdo circus-style theater company, bunch of anarchists. So, oh hey, Olivia, I didn't see you there. So it's called Blue Ridge. This one's for you, Olivia. If you listen, you will hear from the inner drum to the heart of the matter. Press your ear to ground. Hear the river's lonesome sound. And if you listen, you will know why the lucky ones sing to valley below. All the secrets of the hollows are in the echo. I wanna sing an old time tune. Wanna sing till the hills are singing too, though my body's not from this place. Though I've had Lord but taste, I long for the blue. Ooh. All the fires burned that summer, and the highway was glowing red. Said my prayers from the mast of the tallest ship, and I didn't look back. Down to the belly of the beast, was it feast or famine or something in between? Oh, the storehouses, plenty are empty. Didn't listen to them prophecies. And all them busboys and them poets take their places at the table like kings, with their mead and with their pen. They sing the dirges of the dead. I wanna sing no time too. Wanna sing till the hills are singing too, though my body's not from this place. Though I've had Lord but taste, I long for the Blue Ridge. Ooh. Bound for the promised land, got the bow of my canoe kissing Grand River to Six Nations reservation, reserved for the grand and few. I'm slow going through the oxbow, but a murder of crows and kingfisher go to show. You just gotta show up, and sometimes that's enough. I wanna sing no time too. Wanna sing till the hills are singing too, though my body's not from this place. Though I've had Lord but taste, I long for the Blue Ridge. Ooh. Doing a switch out. I was thinking about our bolo tie talk. Okay. Sweet. So without getting into, too much detail, any detail, it's been a heavy few months. So I just thought I'd, add a little bit more to the mix and sing this next song about some intergenerational trauma epigenetics from my family. Just keeping it light on a sunny Saturday evening. Somehow all of my new, it's not somehow, it's not a coincidence, it's for a reason, but yeah, all of my new songs are about my grandmother and lots of family stuff going on. But yeah, it's, even though they're heavy, it's nice it's cheaper than therapy for me at the moment. So this song's called it's called Shape of Morning. The moon's a bow, white tonight. Sat at your window, wet with the winter. Daughters 3. Circle at her bedside, stubborn as the winter sun, begging like the old country garden. Wordless, she waits and watches, her silent voice, the raging ocean she crossed for them. Lay a stone upon family name, held in the well-worn crease of her palm, the end of her days. Lay a stone upon family name, held in the well-worn crease of her palm, the end of her days. And do you know the shape of morning? Bodies twisted like dust in the morning light. And do you hold the weight of memory, breaking the backs of the entire family? Lay a stone upon family name, held in the well-worn crease of her palm, the end of her days. Lay a stone upon family name, held in the well-worn crease of her palm, the end of her days. Thank you. hello to anyone out there in the virtual world. Sorry if I'm not looking at you. I'm trying to not look at the screen, but I think my love for you will still, we'll still get there. All right, well, how's everybody doing this fine evening? Still? All right, this is, since we already established you're a friendly, lovely bunch, you can still prove me wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Heckling is encouraged. I'm going to try out a new song on you is where I was going with that. And by new, I mean, I was hoping you could give me some feedback if it's like good enough to actually play outside of my bedroom or not. They're a work in progress. Out the door again, always a little bit late. Feel the wind against the nape of your neck, and the small of your back, and the hairs of your skin. Let it out, let it in, let it through, let it out, let it in, let it through, let it out, let it in. Morning after, night before, distant laughter and a phantom head on your shoulder, but you want more. It's the body you're after when you want more. When it's the body you're after, you want it now, not in the sweet hereafter. Undo the promises you made in your sleep. Should I keep going or? Yeah, a little fun. The vocals are fine with the guitars. I'm going to take that as a hint from the technical gods that that song is not ready to come out of my bedroom. And you know what? What's that? Oh, that. Okay, well, I trust you guys more than the technical gods. Bicycle power is usually 100% reliable. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea of what bicycle power is like. This has never happened before. So, yeah. I would invest in bicycle power if I were you. I know I've taken my money out of, the regular banks, of course, because we should burn them down, and I'm putting all my money in bicycle power. All right, sweet, check. I think we're back in the business. Be the breathing barrel with its pomegranate throat and your mouth wide open, the shape of the ocean. Be the very first bubble on the brink of a boil. Be the vine growing pale, and the growing pains of time. Be July in the winter time. Against a flattened sky, you reach out, can you touch it, can you feel it? It's almost too high. This thing's relayed by the helicopter. Extra protection. I hope it's not coming back this way. Be the written word in the print and press. Be the reading of the poem along with those unexpected blessings. Be the map of the city alight with hiding spots of light. Be the foothills, the ley lines, the window seat to a simpler time. Be July in the winter time. Against the flattened sky, you reach out, can you touch it, can you feel it? It's almost, it's almost, it's almost, it's almost divine. Thank you. Breathing Barrel featuring Helicopter. I ordered that. So I'm just doing that song. How are you doing on the bicycle? Yeah? You got it? Usually people are like, okay, never mind. Okay, I'll say it. You can't do that. People are usually like scrambling, like lining up to get on the bikes. So there's no judgment attached to that. I'm simply saying that. But it also was like a hot day, a long hot day. I know Catherine, for example, biked a lot today. She shared that she already biked a lot. Sorry, we can talk about it at home. Gonna get in trouble. How are we doing for time? Oh man, Davis. Okay. Should I? Cool. Okay. This is meant to be a hopeful song, so I'm going to play it. Yeah, I'll play this one. Well, I could play a hopeful song, or I could play another song about epigenetics and hopeful. I'm hearing a hopeful. One for epigenetics and one for hopeful. Okay, I'll do both of them. How about that? I'll do both of them. So this is a song I wrote. I was at a residency at the BAMP Center just in whenever that was, time before time. I go back to the BAMP Center as often as they'll have me. It's a pretty magical, it's a really powerful place. that last song, actually the helicopter song, was from the BAM Center as well. But yeah, I had gone down to visit a hoodoo, which is like, there are these really cool geological formations. If you've ever seen a hoodoo, they live in the Badlands, and I was like, I think that this hoodoo is, smaller than the last time I visited this hoodoo. And I was like, this hoodoo has been, it's eroded, like natural causes, or human induced natural causes. Anyway, it just got me thinking about, of course, like our sort of my personal ecological grief, collective ecological grief. And just thinking about, the legacy of kind of how we're treating the planet and how we're going to pass that on to the future generations. There's a very new person here at this show, a little baby. We want to be able to, give the new people the earth better than we received her. And I was just got to thinking about how that it made sense to me, in the sense of how, how we're passing trauma. Trauma gets passed down in families, and we're passing trauma down to the earth with a lot of our actions. So we can just pretend that I shared that story in a really eloquent, articulate way. Oh, thanks, Kayla. It's still a hopeful song too, but this is not the hopeful song. You're going to get that out. Oh, and it's called "Who Do You Love," which was really just like a marker for the title, and the name stuck. So, who do you love? Hoodoos do not take their shade. Trace their trace. I didn't practice this song. So sorry, everybody. I did say I was rusty. Do not take their shade. Trace their body of wind and fire. Here we go. The Milky Way drips down to the Emerald Lake. Stare to the bottom of Sweet Louise. Toss your sins in for a cheap release. Your prayers are there in pieces where there should have been a lake there. Lines on her face is the light of the moon. Beat of 1,000 wings circle the room. Her body breathes with the salt of remembrance. Her lifetime resides in the cells of your skin. Her voice is your voice, and a voice from within. Do you sing? Do you bring the mourner's cottage? Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Olamei Olam. Yeah. Lines on her faces, the light of the moon, beat of 1,000 wings circle the room. And if you're quiet, you can hear the song. It lives in a fistful of sky just beyond your reach. Thank you. That's also a brand new song I've never played before. That's why I answered that part. Well, I believe we have time for one more song on this fine evening. Thank you all again so much for being here. Thanks to Bowker Creek for having us. Let's have a huge round of applause for old man Davis, James Davis over here, also known as Paul James. He poured so much love and effort and time into all of the bicycle powered events, and it's a lot of work and a lot of love. So yeah, we appreciate that, James. And I think, are we still going to have a poem after? Sweet, I can't wait. And yeah, go check out Brianna's and mine's tables of our goodies to take home. Also, thank you for that beautiful poem. That really was. There, Gerald. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful poem, Gerald. Okay, well, I'm going to sing one more song. I'm going to stop talking. Play one more song. I'm going to see how this goes. I actually think my blood sugar's low. That's why I'm just like talking and not saying much sense. But it's coming from a place of love. So I'm going to hop on that bike, which may or not be a good idea with my low blood sugar I just shared with you. But we're all friends. That's why I'm sharing that. Thank you. Sorry to. You did an excellent job. That's not why this is happening. Are you riding it? Yeah, I'm riding it. Gosh.
Solid.
Oh, goodness gracious. I might regret this.
Never. No regrets.
Do you think I'm this short? What the heck is happening? 14, right?
Yeah.
It's really short. Because James is really tall.
We're in the same bubble, so this is okay.
Thank you.
Don't try this at home, people.
No, I'm a professional with the bicycle powered. Oops. Okay, I just gotta get my speed on. Oh. Okay. So here's that hopeful song I promised. These broken bones are mending. I heard the swallows call. That end is this beginning. On that ancient ball of twine, we're stitched into our skin and woven into our nose. Gotta slow down, I'm too excited. These old roads keep a-bending as I follow the bazaar. My pockets lined with precious metals, carved into a burning star. It's burning up in my palm. They say it won't take long this time, this go around, this roll on through. Are you still wild too? These here we go. With time comes a shifting, mind's eye opens and consciousness drifts along that fine line of sight. What once was sacred is that twine now wrapped tight around our wrist and o'er our lips and stitched into our skin and woven into our knowing. Thanks so much. My name's Saanich Legacy. Thanks again. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. And thanks so much also to all the volunteers who always make the magic happen. Hey, should I keep pedaling?
Oh yeah, you're on there now.
Yeah.
Let's hear it again for Dana Sipos, everyone. So I understand that we have a collective poem that has been written by y'all, or at least some of y'all, and Sarap is going to come and share that with us now.
This is so exciting. I get so excited when these collective poems form. Okay. When I walk by Bowker Creek. When I walk by Bowker Creek, I stop. I think if the hidden water under the streets that I thought I knew. I remember the 1969 grad notebook that I flung into the creek between the school and Hampshire. The silence can silence the silence. Holy is the name of dog. I remember a true love lost, intention a new love beginning. I know that life is love. Sorry, I just have to handle this. When I walk by Bowker Creek, cold water over my toes, as sweeping birds come and go. I think of crawdad that I found 6 years ago. I breathe in the relief of stillness in the middle of the city. I feel a connection to the land. When I walk by Bowker Creek, it surprises me. I slow and soften. I love living in this community. When I sit by Bowker Creek, I see the water bringing life to the nature. As it passes through, my soul becomes lighter and all troubles dissolve. When I sit at Bowker Creek, the child in me awakens and gets lost in the magic of running waters. I dream of hearing the old song of cementless creeks, murmur, murmur, murmur. I feel myself transported back in time, forward in time. I feel time stand still. A sweet escape from concrete is revealed to us both. I feel my soul soar. When I listen to Bowker Creek, I wonder what the ancestors hear, what the water feels, and how many know about this hidden treasure. When I listen to Bowker Creek, I hear a gentle chuckle. I hear laughter. I dream of the day the salmon can come back. The day the creek is clean and welcoming, as this home must and should be. I feel it's ancient. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sarat. That was beautiful. And I think we'll try and get that up on the Creekside Concert's website so that we can all read it again and take it in. Thank you for bringing that beautiful collaboration. And thank you all for participating. So we're going to take a risk and see if we can get one more song. If you want an encore. Does anyone here want an encore? But it was very, very presumptuous of me. But it seems you want an encore. We're going to try one more song. And I'm going to let Dana not pedal for this one. So I'm going to hop on the bike and give it up for Dana Sipos, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. This was not planned, I promise. Yeah, where's the bipod? The bike bipod. All right. Oh, this is so sweet. Well, I was gonna say we could all have a big sleepover, but I don't think that's probably not gonna happen, but that's just how much I'm loving this gathering of folks all together. Everything I say from here forth will be blamed on no, just myself. Yeah, I'm gonna play another it's a water song here. And yeah, as James mentioned, I'm relatively new to the West Coast, even though I've had family on the island for about a decade. So I've been coming here and spending time getting to know people and places. But I don't really have any songs about the West Coast yet, so that'll probably change pretty soon. But I do have lots of songs about the East Coast. Any Maritimers in the house? Okay, yeah, we got one. We got one Maritimer. Radar. I love Maritimes, and yeah, I wrote this song after I did a residency with this wonderful little piece of land called Red Clay Farm, right on the Bay of Fundy, called White Rabbit Residency. You should all check it out. It's just go in the woods and be weird with your art. Who doesn't love that? And just because we're at it, I'll dedicate. I usually have to dedicate this song to Jerry Springer because I played on the Jerry Springer podcast, and I played this song on his podcast, and he. Anyway, Jerry's a swell guy. He said, "Oh, did you write those songs?" I was like, "Yes, sir, Jerry Springer." And, "Oh, you must spend a lot of time alone." Was Jerry Springer's constructive feedback to me about my music. And I wish you could say he just like bankrolls my music career now, but that's not true. And the song's called Tides. I want to be a good man, Mama, when I travel. Can I stand the lure of them beautiful? If the tide of your heart does turn in the middle of the night, you're to give this moon the shadows. In the shadows. Oh, the cuckoo did cry from sea, shiny sea. You ain't never seen a more lonesome bird than me. If the tides of the wind do turn in the middle of the night, you're in for a full moon storm in the shallows. In the shallows. We knew those blossoms of cherry when the family was young. They were times of plenty from the old country we come. If the tides of the family do turn in the middle of the night, you're in for a moonlit sky and shadows. In the fallows. Are you the well or the stone? Are you the stone? Are you the stone? Are you the stone, James? Do you remember how the song goes from all that time we spent together on that bicycle? I wanna be a good man, Mama, when I'm drunk, and I stand the lure of the beautiful. I do want to say, I did practice for this concert. I know that it seems like I forgot the words to a lot of my songs, but it is not a reflection of me. I did put time.
You're amazing. Dana Seapost, everyone! You can check out Dana Seapost's music at danaseapost.com.
I'm available for bar mitzvahs.
Bicycle-powered yoga classes and the like.
Yeah, exactly. All the above.
All right, thank you, Dana. Let's hear it one more time. So thanks, everyone. I want to again say thanks and Heichka to Brianna Bear for welcoming us here to Lekwungen territory. To Sarat Brown for sharing her poetry and helping facilitate our collective poem. Oh, to the helicopter for the beautiful background noise. To Soren and Gerald from the Friends of Bowker Creek Society, and to Dana. We're also grateful for the financial support we received from the CRD Arts Commission through the Idea Grant Program, and also to the Saanich Legacy Foundation. Shout outs to Jay on sound, Colin on the live stream, Sandy on the art activity, Carissa taking photos, Kayla and Brittany for helping out at the door. Lydia Beauregard designed our beautiful poster for the series. And thank you to everyone who took a turn pedaling, and to all of you for coming. So please help spread the word about the next Creekside concert. It's happening Cedar Hill Park 2 weeks from yesterday, July 17th. Free tickets for that event are going to be released early next week. We ask that if you've had the pleasure of being here in person tonight, you let other folks get first dibs at those tickets and reserve spots. And then the final concert will be on the 31st of the month, hopefully at UVic. Find out more at creeksideconcerts.ca. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to end the live stream now, but make sure you come back for the next one. July 17th, we'll be posting links closer to the date. Okay, bye and have a wonderful evening.